Welcome back to Jessie's Performance. This week we have something different for you guys. We got a new Challenger to rebuild from the old Challenger that we had, the one that caught on fire. And this one's got a good running V6 motor in it. So what we decided to do is ghetto fog the intake and see if we can get it to blow up and how bad we can get it to blow up. So here we go.
So we have the 2010 Challenger on the rollers. We're gonna get it strapped down and we're gonna ghetto fog the shit out of this thing with some nitrous. So Matt's gonna stand here with the nitrous bottle in his hand. With one move, he's gonna open it as much as he can and spray as much nitrous as we can into this. Straight into the intake. Straight into the intake of this poor little engine.
All right, so we got Lee here. He's joining us all the way from Hudson, Colorado. He wants to check out this V6 motor that he bought being blown up.
Ah, yeah.
It'd be awesome, guys.
Hey, what's your guess on horsepower?
I'm gonna say 295.
295 with the nitrous?
With nitrous, maybe 310.
310?
Or 310.
Okay.
Final answer.
All right. Matt, what's your guess? You're the Dodge guy here.
300.
300 even?
If we PE it, if we do what I want to do with the tune, it'll make 300.
What about just balls to the walls? Just crack it open one.
Nothing. It's just gonna lean pop.
Stacie, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm a bad judge of all this.
Come on.
I don't even know. I don't know. It's a Mopar. I don't know anything about it.
Well, it's a V6 that's running very poorly.
Let's say 280.
280. All right. Brandon, the nitrous guy.
Yeah,
Tell
man.
us.
So all motor is probably gonna make about 160.
You think so?
Yeah.
So what do you think
Maybe.
it's gonna make on the nitrous?
On the nitrous,
ghetto
depends on
fogging
how open you're gonna make it. It's gonna be
We're
like
gonna
just
get
wide open.
probably at least half a turn on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's probably gonna blow up before it makes any type of power.
All right.
But I guess 260, 240.
240, 260?
Yeah.
And what's your guess on what's gonna break?
Oh, I'm thinking a cylinder is gonna fly. Nah, the manifold is definitely gonna
The
explode.
manifold, you think it's gonna
The
nitrous
manifold's gonna
backfire and
explode. Oh
explode?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure.
Yogi,
Yes.
what do you think
I knew
it's
you were
gonna make on the ghetto fog nitrous setup?
I'm gonna say 312.
312.
312.
What do you think's gonna break?
I think it's gonna throw the rod before it pops the manifold.
You think so?
I think so.
See, I think so too. And you're ready with the.
I'm ready with the fire
You got the
extinguisher.
fire extinguisher, so we got firefighters here.
Jesse, what do you think it's gonna make?
I think it's gonna make 342 horsepower. Yep. Yep.
He always guesses way too high.
Yep. And I think and with any luck, it's gonna kick a rod out and it's gonna get oil on the manifold and we're gonna have a big old fire and we're gonna have to put it out. Kyle,
It's making a pole.
you think it's gonna make
It's making a pole.
Okay.
That's a fucking Dodge. It's a hero. It's gonna make a pole.
With the shot, 302.
302.
With the shot, yeah. And it's going to kick the rod probably before it gets there.
Yeah? What do you think? Let's get an uneducated guess on this. Say something crazy like 750. Like, right? No? Damn it.
Like maybe like 320.
320 sounds a good guess.
It's
I'll get down with that.
definitely gonna break something.
It's gonna break something. I like it. Come on, what's your guess? You're here too.
You're gonna get, your first pull's gonna be all right. Now when you do the sauce, man, I think you're gonna get halfway into the sauce and it's just gonna go. I don't think the raw is gonna go, but I think you're gonna melt the piston.
Dude, melt the piston.
Maybe.
At what power level?
Do we have extra spark
Maybe 225. I don't think it's gonna, it's her.
225?
I don't think it's gonna get that high.
I would hope for 400,
Damn, alright.
but that's like that's so optimistic. I bet like 350, 360 is just gonna chuck a rod.
We're not gonna need this one. We're going.
Yeah, we're gonna need that. All right, so Matt, my only question is, and that I'm familiar with these I'm not familiar with on these Mopars is there a fuel torque setting that's gonna close the throttle body on us?
No.
No. It's not like the LTs and the newer stuff where if we hit a
There is.
torque,
If it's a torque calculation button, nitrous doesn't affect that at all.
even though we're gonna be ramming all the fuel in it that we can possibly.
If we do that, yeah, we're gonna have to bump that stuff up. There's there's torque for the rear end, there's torque for the drive shaft, torque for the motor, yeah.
all that
all that
technical jazz.
Yeah.
All right, so the plan is we're gonna do it all motor hit, and hopefully we don't lose the motor there. If it starts sounding kind of limpy, I'm gonna let out of it so we can get a good nitrous pull. If we make it through a nitrous pull and it doesn't have a ginormous catastrophic failure, we're probably gonna plug in the laptop and let Matt do the Dodge tuning thing. I don't know, fairies and unicorns with dicks on their heads and that kind of thing. And hopefully we can give it all the fuel and it'll really blow up then. Because blowing this thing up is the goal here.
I think that's how we get catastrophic failure, not just melted piston or melted spark.
So if we give it the tune, right, the moon tune, what do you think is going to break that?
I think I'm with you on the rod.
Yeah? So hopefully we make it through one pull. Even if it's got a broken piston, we're going to give it the moon tune and try and send it the rest of the way.
You gotta take safety.
Yeah. How does...
Turn it around.
Oh, there we go.
I think Matt should wear.
Here comes the fucking horsepower, people. We got the right equipment now. Safety meeting.
Everybody listen.
Kyle's got the water hose. Yogi's got the fire extinguisher. If anything happens, everyone else just stay the fuck out of the way, stay calm. Obviously, we're expecting an explosion and fire, right? If someone's hurt, we'll figure that out when we get there. It shouldn't happen that way, but I just don't want frantic, I don't want crazy. It's just, catches on fire, catches on fire.
We know what to do if it catches on fire.
We know what to do.
We've had this happen before.
Kyle, you just hang on to that hose and be ready. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Get ready to get Matt extinguished. Yeah.
Don't be playing with it, because if I didn't walk away, I don't need to be walking around.
Hey, I think we can all spray the shit out of you. All right. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to try the all motor pull and just see where we're at. All right. And it was a clean pull. It wasn't doing nothing crazy. It was a little sluggish and it still made 180. We put the IAT sensor and hooked the air filter back up. It'd probably make 200 on motor. Yeah, it's probably 10-to-1 air fuel ratio. I mean, there's so much raw fuel, it looked like my Duramax. So I tricked Matt when I undid the air intake. I unplugged the air intake temp sensor, which made the computer think it's negative 40 degrees. So it adds like 25 or 30% of the fuel to the map. And so what that did is it loaded it up with fuel, and it still made a good pull, which I was surprised about. Right. But it also let me know that there's a lot of fuel there because it was rolling coal. So once we put the nitrous to it and get the air fuel back, we probably have 150 horsepower worth of fuel that we can burn before anything dramatic happens. So I think it's going to make some really serious power here in a few minutes.
Dang, that's gonna be impressive.
Yeah, it already impressed me because with like a 10-0 air fuel ratio, it still made 183, 184 horsepower, which is more than anyone thought it would make on a good tune-up. So we might keep this V6 in this car for you after all. How about that?
You gotta bring it to Mopar heaven.
Okay.
He's like, whatever it takes.
He's like, no.
Get rid of it.
No. All right. So yeah, no, we got enough nitrous here. What are they saying? The movies will blow the thing up or whatever. We're doing some Fast and Furious shit right here.
Yep.
So. Yeah. This one's for Dom.
Okay.
I think it's gonna make it through a nitrous pull for sure. Just because there was so much fuel there, and it's not one pull.
So what are we gonna do?
Give it more. We'll just keep it. So I think it'll bend a rod. I don't think it's gonna be catastrophic, but I think it's gonna hurt itself the first pull, and the second pull, it'll probably break. Because the thing is, it ain't gonna blow the manifold because Matt can't put enough nitrous to it fast enough to make it backfire. It's gonna eat it. As bad as it is, it's gonna eat the air. Yeah. So it's just gonna be really, really torquey.
I made a small change before we spray it. Hopefully this will add a couple more horsepower.
Oh yeah.
Couple. Sticks right out of the hood.
So here's the deal. I think it's gonna make a pull. I hope so. We probably lost a lot of bottle pressure doing that, so we're just getting the bottle pressure back up so we have all the NOS. We need more NOS. When you go to a rap concert and there's the hype man, that's Kyle, but in the negative version for Matt. He's like, oh yeah, he's fucking scared. He's gonna catch on fire. Like, just all the negative hype. That's what Kyle brings to Matt's life. Like Matt could be banging a supermodel and Kyle would be like, oh no, you're doing it wrong. Your dick's too small. Like, Kyle would just be totally digging him into the ground. Great minds are standing here trying to figure out how we can blow this thing up, because obviously ghetto fogging all the nitrous you can imagine into it is not doing it.
It's not sucking all the nitrous in. Like, it's not flowing that much air. It's sucking enough air in. So
right,
I think
and that's
maybe we need to run a hose straight in there so it can't just blast out.
number 6. 4. Oh, it's a dash 4. We got a dash 4 line. Stacie, where's our dash 4 braided line? In this box. There might be a spider in there. Dash 4. So then we're gonna try to take this line and we're gonna shove it into the intake. That way we're not losing any in the atmosphere. Well, I thought the hose. Oh, it's clear back here.
Pile a hole in that thing and
May have to.
Oh, we put the air box back together and stick it in there.
Yeah, the line's gonna want to blow out, right?
Guys, we don't want to shut that. No, I'm gonna clamp it here.
Clamp it here.
I'll go get me a pinch clamp.
I'm glad I did.
Oh no, I didn't record it.
You fucker!
It didn't record.
No.
What did it make? You never stopped the duck. Oh, you never recorded it? Are you kidding me? That's a piece of the block.
So what happened there is when we give it the nitrous, right, and you heard it pick up, wah, right, and things were on the up and up, and then it just really leaned out because we're feeding it more nitrous because we're directing the tube, right? And so then it laid over, you hear it just kind of flatten out, wah, and usually, like in the world that we live in, we would lift, right? We would save the motor. But I knew what was happening, so I just stayed in it because I knew it was bogging hard, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then it started going blam, 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 and like my first instinct was to let off the throttle. And so I let out the throttle, and then it like really fucking started coming apart. So I shut the ignition off, and then it gulped into flame. That was pretty cool though.
That was great.
Oh dude, look at, there's the wrist pin. Here, hold on. Look, that's the wrist pin from that's what holds the piston to the connecting rod.
She gone.
Exit, stage left. Looks like it's
That block's on. Yeah.
Ejectorado, cuz.
Yeah, that block's on.
Ejectorado, cuz. That shit's insane.
I've never seen that much power.
Jesse's always good for the Fast and the Furious quote.
So, well, there it is.
All right, y'all, that's it for this week. And I hope you enjoyed our different video that we did. It's totally out of the norm. It was so much fun. Outcome was perfect. It couldn't have been any better. So maybe next week we'll talk about LS Fest. It is only 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. So anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try and start this car because I shut it off when it grenaded. Matt's gonna try and start it and see what happens.
See if it runs.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It sounds like the flywheel's not connected to anything.
Someone stole all the spark plugs.
I think it's got one piston left. Listen.
On one cylinder.
Maybe a flood clear?
Jesus Christ.
Maybe.